Good morning and happy day 6 of our Tabata challenge. I hope you've had an incredible week of just finding 4-minute actions for yourself and just really realizing that it doesn't have to be this all or nothing. You can start with small actions, and these small actions are all building, and if you're consistent with them, then they will get you to making movement just a natural part of your day. All right, so that you know you can fit this in. It doesn't have to be this all or nothing, these big, long workouts. I'm gonna tell you what will happen is that when you start these small actions, they kind of ripple into bigger actions, and where you are surprising yourself because you're wanting, hey, well, if I did 4 minutes and I did it this, maybe I can make it a little bit longer, or you'll start to crave it. It's just how our brains work. It's how our brains are wired. They just really like when we feel good, and when it notices that that's a pleasurable thing and it can connect the feeling of that to how it's making us like feel safer, feel stronger, feel, more pleasurable, and it doesn't seem as much resistance and as much work, we will naturally crave it. And that's where habits come in, and that's where you see people that are like, I can't imagine not adding movement into my day just because it just feels as good as having a coffee and sitting down. All right, so today's workout, we are going to take everything as always. We always build, right? We want to be, it's going to be a real good core workout. We're going to go outside, okay? We're going to get out for a walk. Now, if it's not an option for you, I will always show options, okay, so that you can find a way to make this work for you. Always meeting in the middle, finding your 1% action. But today what I want you to do is go around your house and find something that is heavy, okay? Obviously, I love kettlebells, and I have a ton of kettlebells. This could be done with a dumbbell. It could be done with filling up a grocery bag full of things around your house. You could get a bag, maybe even have salt water soft or salt bag of dog food. Whatever it is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for a walk, and I'm just gonna stick with the 4 minutes because that's what we chose to do. So for this challenge, what I want you to do is you're gonna walk with this, and we're gonna talk about how we would wanna walk and all the different options of that for 1 minute, okay? And then you would go ahead and you would then switch the sides and walk for another minute while we're carrying this. And then we can come and turn that back and switch hands, and then you'd be back to where you were. So it can be there and back, all right? Some other ways you could do this is just adding some fun. I've done this before as well, where I'm carrying it in different ways, and then I hit a light post. I could add some squats in there, all right? Then switch the sides, go over, maybe I add some push-ups, okay, at the light post. And you can choose a distance, like maybe just down and back on your street, okay? Now, what I like about this in like overcoming resistance is also like we have to try and find ourselves balanced. You're gonna see that one side's gonna wanna turn, and we have to keep into core, and it's a lot of work just to do that. And you'll be surprised on how quickly your heart rate gets up and your breath rate. Okay, but also overcoming resistance and getting outside. Okay, what I like is that you'll be like, oh, well, what if people are watching me, or what are people gonna think? Am I gonna look silly? And all those kinds of things. I want you to try and overcome that. I want you to challenge that it doesn't really matter what everyone's doing on the outside. Maybe you're gonna inspire someone rather than them thinking you look silly. They're really gonna be like, oh, never thought of that before. Maybe I'll join in, or I've, given it a try. Honestly, people that are going to be watching from the side just thinking, hey, look at that rock star. Okay, so I'm just going to give you some things to think about whenever you are carrying it in different ways that you can carry it, okay? So I have my kettlebell here. We're going to use that hinge position to pick it up, okay? So remembering, before you even head down, I want you to do that nice big inhale, okay? And then you're going to exhale, hinge, and then you'll pick that up. Okay, now what I want you to realize is that we don't want to turn over to this side, so we got to keep in our plank line, our planks that we have practiced confidence on, keeping that rib cage in, and then you're going to walk where you're trying not to even lean the opposite way. It may go a little bit, but your goal is to not let the shoulder drop, not let things come over, leaning into either side. See my alignment here? I'm gonna turn this on. It is a core, it's a walking plank with a lot of challenge. I find I squeeze the other arm just to remind me to keep that on. You're gonna wanna not run, okay? So you're gonna wanna keep the lower abdominals on. I don't wanna see you coming through here, losing this part of your core. Okay, we gotta stay up tall. All right, and we're going to take slow, just have to be real slow, but slower steps rather than running through, okay? Because we probably have potential for injury when we have leaking energy. So I want you to look confident, tall, owning that resistance, looking proud, looking like a superhero as you do it. Then you would just go ahead and move it to the other side. Now, some other ways of doing this is you could bring it, like depending on what you have to, you could bring it up to your shoulder, okay? And just be walking it with it here. That's called a front rack. Or if you're feeling real good, I don't know, I might have picked the wrong kettlebell for this. Let's see, I'm not really warmed up. You can get yourself in an overhead position. All right, and then again, you could walk in this nice overhead position, always making sure you safely bring that down. Notice I use my other arm just because it's 50 pounds there, so a little heavy. All right, and then you just go ahead, my heart rate, just from that little bit. Now, another thing is if you don't have space, you're not able to get outside today, you can do it on another day, you can stay here and march. Okay, so you can be in here and marching and doing that 1 minute on each side. All right, so that's your 4 minutes. Overcome that resistance. Send me some pictures if you're outside. Send me the creativity of what you carried. It could be, you're already doing this if you're a mom. Typically you're like switching, but maybe you're gonna think about how you're holding your baby and what that feels like. And then if you want, and you wanna go a longer distance, take breaks, right? Remember to take some breaks. Maybe at the light post you break. You don't have to do any squats or push-ups at those light posts, but if you choose, just notice if it feels like, hey, yeah, maybe I'll try that. Let me know, get creative with it. Notice how all your work this week is starting to crave for you to want more and ask more of yourself. And you're always choosing an option that feels like that core magic, right? Where you feel in alignment, you're able to breathe, you feel confident, you feel like you're very intentional with the way you're moving and the way you're thinking about it and the reason you're doing it, the why, and then you're just empowering yourself to get this done. So can't wait to hear about it. Have an amazing day, and please remember, share these with me, send me a picture or a video or just how did it feel, okay? Have an amazing day.